Okay, and we are live. Hey guys, do you know that we've reached over 315 subscribers? I know, and it sounds like big deal. What's 315 subscribers? It's YouTube. People have millions of subscribers. But 315 subscribers in a little over 2 weeks tells me that there are people that have an appetite for this sort of content, and just people that want to feel included, and people that want to feel like they're not alone in the struggle. And so, and I say that we've reached it because I want this to be a community. I want this to be a place where we can all express ourselves in the comments and stuff. And you might not know it, but sometimes we don't even know we're being inspirational to someone, without knowing it. So sometimes when you guys leave those comments, somebody else will read them and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going through the same thing. And so I do want this to be a community. So I don't know, 300 subscribers in 2 weeks. I'm really happy with that. We have to start somewhere. My Instagram, I started with, a couple hundred subscribers and it's now up to 12,000. So I'm just happy. And listen, if we can just get across to one person or make one person feel better or help one person because the struggle is real, then, it's all been worth it. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am Mama Moynes. I'm 58 years old. I've been divorced twice, and I'm here to help you rebuild a kick-ass life. My second divorce is what was the very tumultuous, toxic, I hate to use the word abusive because I don't even think we're supposed to be using that word on YouTube. There's so many words that you can't use. They demonetize you and stuff. Anyway, but it is what put me on my path of rebuilding a kick-ass life, that second divorce, and just rediscovery, and just put me on my journey of really going back to who I was, my roots, living simplistically, and just rediscovering myself. So we're here to help to inspire, educate, motivate, encourage, and empower anyone that needs it. And don't we all fucking need it? God, we all need it. And so um, I wanted to talk about something today that was brought to my attention. Somebody actually told me that I was hyper independent. And of course, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not hyper independent. I'm independent for sure. I'm not hyper independent. And isn't dependency a good thing? Isn't that good? To be able to take care of yourself, stand on your own 2 feet, be self-reliant, self-sufficient. And I was sort of taken aback by that. And then I looked into it. When I looked into it, I felt like I needed a psychology degree to really understand all of the terms and terminology. And so what I've done here is I'm going to break it down for you, because you know what? Hyper independent over here, Mrs. Hyper Independent, which I'm working on, and I'm going to tell you as well how to get over it, how to work on it. But basically, hyper independence is, well, first of all, it's a trauma response, and it's what we do as a survival mechanism. And when you're hyper independent, you have this excessive need for self-reliance. And sorry, I made some notes, but it's oh my God, it is so me. So self-reliance, for sure. Avoid asking help from anyone. Not only avoid asking help from anyone, but it's really hard. Do you find it hard to ask for help or ask for support? I do. I find it really hard. And I have this attitude like, I'm just going to do it on myself. I don't need anybody. I don't need no one. I'm going to do it. I'll take care of it. I always have. I always will. I'll be fine. So I have that, seriously have that attitude. Also, when we don't let anyone get too close, and we don't let people really get to know us. Like, it's hard to know us on a deep level. Like, we have a lot of walls up, we have a lot of barriers, and it's really hard to let anyone take those down. We We're easily annoyed. I can't speak for everyone. I'm going to speak for myself. I am really easily annoyed and turned off by people that I perceive to be are excessively needy. Isn't that horrible? I'm just going to admit it right here, right now. If you come across as being really needy, it's such a turnoff to me. And what I perceive to be needy, because I'm the opposite, like the total opposite of being needy. Also, do you feel like you're an overachiever? You can't stop. You can't take time to relax. You feel like when you are relaxed and you're not being productive, you got to keep working. You got to keep doing something. That is also me. Oh, the other thing is you have a real mistrust of people. And you see, and that's why it is from a trauma response or a defense mechanism, because I think when you're hyper independent and you have that attitude, I'll take care of it myself. I don't need anyone. I've got it. It's because we have been let down so much. We have been consistently disappointed by people. We have been abandoned by people. We have been let down so many times that we now don't trust that you are reliable, that anyone is reliable, that I can count on you, that we can count on you. And so rather than feeling the pain and the hurt of having people let us down over and over and over again and not be there for us, we would just avoid it altogether. And I'll just do it myself. I don't need anybody. Now, does this sound familiar? Because this is when my friend said to me, you're like so hyper independent. And the reason why she said it to me is because I feel like I was at a point where I wasn't even interested in dating anymore. Like, not at all. Not interested in dating. No one, I'm not attracted to anyone. No one's really like getting me excited. And so again, I just was avoiding all of that. I'd have friends say, "Oh, I met this great guy," or "My husband has this really great friend," I think, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." And so what we have to be cognizant of when we're hyper independent, what will happen is we're going to expose ourselves to isolation, self-sabotage, loneliness, because we're totally closed off. We're totally closed off. We don't allow anybody in. We don't allow anybody to break those walls. We don't allow anyone to really get to know us. We don't allow anyone to help us. And so we have to be really careful that we're not, isolating ourselves from other humans, because innately we need connection. We do. We need emotional connection and we need human interaction. That's how we were built. That's how we were built. We weren't designed to be on this earth to just brave it all alone. And if we're not careful with our hyper independence, that's exactly what's going to happen. We are going to be left to our own devices, just navigating life on our own, braving it on our own, because we're too afraid of the pain, of the hurt from people who have consistently let us down in our lives, in our lifetime. And the only way to try to let go a little bit is to start being more vulnerable. Start opening up to others. Start allowing others in. Start asking for help. Start asking for support. It's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to lean on others, on family, on friends. It's okay. And not only is it okay, I think it's a great way of bonding and a great way to learn some interdependence. So if we can go from being hyper dependent, where we are totally on our own, we got it, I got it, I don't need you, I don't need anything, to a healthy interdependence. And an interdependence is when it's healthy, because we don't want to be a codependent. We don't want to be hyper dependent. But an interdependence is, when you have those relationships with other human beings, other people that you can rely on and that they can rely on you, and it's reciprocal. And you feel like you've got somebody in your corner. You've got somebody that's got your back. That's not hyper, that's healthy interdependence. So I didn't even know hyper independence existed until it was pointed out to me. And then I started looking into it and I was like, check, 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 check. So, yeah, open yourself up to dating again. What's that great saying that it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all? Maybe think of it that way. And I know it's hard. I know. Oh, trust me. Fuck, I know. It's hard to let the walls down. It's hard to let your guard down. It's hard to just be vulnerable because you've done it so many times before and it's been and so you don't want to go there anymore. But we also have to be careful that we aren't isolating ourselves, and which can lead to loneliness, which can lead to depression, which can lead to anxiety, which can lead to all these other things. And I really think that if we are truly on this path of rebuilding a kick-ass life, a lot of that is just letting it go, take a chance, jump right in, take risks. Without risks, there's no rewards, right? So take risks, jump right in. I know it's scary, but like I've said so many times before, you got to go right through the scary, go right through it and come out on the other end. And there you go. That's hyper independence. Are you hyper independent? Guilty as charged, but I'm working on it. So let's work on it together. Let's start becoming more vulnerable, more open to, human connections and human interaction, and accepting help from others, which is hard. Oh, God, rather stick a needle in my eye than ask somebody for help. Seriously. No, but I'm getting better. I am getting better. And yeah, I don't want to brave the world alone. I would love to be in a really healthy relationship. I'm not saying I'm going to, just jump right in and settle, but yeah, I would love that. And so there you go. That's it. Hyper independence. Anyway, guys, if you are liking the content so far, please share it with somebody that might actually need it. Like if you have friends that are stuck, feeling hopeless, feeling helpless, feeling defeated, feeling where they're in toxic, abusive relationships. Still, a lot of the content that people are asking for does have to do with toxic relationships or narcissism. God, narcissism, it's like the word of the century, honestly. And so we're still going to talk about that. There's still so much that we can talk about that. Like there is one, somebody sent me a message asking me if I knew anything about, like she said that feels like she's always putting out fires for her husband. There's always like a cloud of doom above his head, and that drama and chaos follows him everywhere. And he's always on the outs with someone. He's always fighting with friends or family members. There's police knocking on the door looking for him because he's been identified as like a hit and run and I was like, that actually is one of the traits of somebody that does have narcissistic tendencies, is that there will always be chaos. It will never be peaceful. It will never just be a smooth ride. It's always going to go up and then come crashing down, and then up and then come crashing down. And so maybe I'll do a video on that too. But you know what? Please leave me some comments and let me know, what topics do you want to talk about? Remember, I'm 58. I started this journey at 50, where I had to start all over, get a job after having been at home for many, many years, figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to support myself, and how I'm going to get on the path of just being freer and happier and more authentic. So I've been on this journey now for almost 7, 8 years, wrote my book, and I want to help you do the same. Okay. So come back again. I'm going to try and do a video every day. I've been trying to do one every day. I think I've only skipped maybe a couple of days. That is my promise to you. So come back to Rebuilding a Kick-Ass Life with Mama Moynes, yours truly, and we'll rebuild it together. Okay. Bye, guys. Don't be hyper independent. Don't.